Plane is crashing? Here's exactly what to do to survive.
Tighten your seatbelts, locate the emergency exits, brace for impact, and once it crashes, get out of it and move away from the wreck as fast as you can.
Have you ever wondered why you get wrinkly after being in the water?
When you are underwater, your nervous system tells your blood vessels to shrink, and less blood flow makes the fingers and toes lose volume, causing the skin to fold into ridges.
Why is it that when the caretaker crouches down, the chicks immediately run over?
When he crouches, he looks like a mother offering safety, so they instinctively run under him to feel protected.
Do you know why the horse in the video has its leg standing in ice water?
It's an ice bath that helps speed up physical recovery.
On paper, this Rolex costs $20,000, but how much is it really worth?
He estimates that the materials alone cost under $50, but if you add labor costs, it jumps to $2,000.
Why is this guy climbing the rusty anchor chain of a giant ship?
It's one of the many ways people try to enter the USA illegally, but it's really dangerous, so don't do it.
I've always wondered, what's inside a wasp nest?
The outer layers serve as insulation, and inside is where they build the combs to store food and hatch more wasps.
What's the sharpest thing in the world?
You might think it's a really sharp knife, but it's actually something that occurs in nature. Obsidian shards can have edges as thin as 10 atoms.
This is why cowboys make their jeans so stiff, they can literally stand on their own.
They add starch to make them more durable, and it also helps dirt slide off more easily.
One of the most expensive liquids on Earth is in your house right now.
It's printer ink. It costs approximately $27,000 per gallon.
If you swallow gum, they say it stays in your stomach for 7 years.
That's not true. Your digestive system can't break it down, but it comes out untouched after a couple days.
Why should you never ever touch the red bottoms of ships?
Because the red paint used on the bottom of ships is designed to kill and prevent algae and barnacles from sticking to the hull, and for that, they use a very poisonous coat.
Why did thousands of customers return their Mickey Mouse soap dispensers?
They didn't read the instructions, so they thought the product didn't work.
Why did the Allies turn German helmets into cooking pots after World War II?
Once the war ended, resources were scarce, so it was a way they found to turn helmets into something useful for people.
Can you believe this? Every time fishermen unload their catch, they destroy a fishing net worth tens of thousands of dollars.
This is partially correct. They do cut the nets while unloading because otherwise it can rip and cause even more damage to the net or even injure the crew, but the net is made in a way it can be sealed together again, so it's not actually destroyed.
How deep does the ocean actually go? Why is the deepest part so terrifying?
The deepest point of the ocean is 35,876 feet deep, and that place is terrifying because imagine facing alien-like creatures on a pitch-black darkness.
How does this strange injection actually help save the entire reef?
They use it to kill a type of starfish that feeds on living coral.
This is why you should never climb a tree if a tiger is chasing you.
Because by the time you climb 1/3 of the tree, the tiger will be at the top waiting for you.
Why does the gold disappear just minutes after the World Cup ends?
Players and staff cut pieces of the net to keep forever as a souvenir.
Have you ever wondered why bananas are curved?
They are initially born straight, but as they grow, they bend upward, seeking for more sunlight.
Why do professional photographers hold their expensive cameras so loosely?
It's because there is a really good grip there, and when you've had your camera for a while, you get really comfortable holding it like that.
Why can't a robot just click, "I'm not a robot"?
Because CAPTCHA doesn't only check if the box was clicked, instead it considers all of the behavior the user had before clicking it.
Have you ever wondered why some Japanese roads have holes on purpose?
They absorb water, making roads last longer.
Time to see how much my $600 Coke machine has made.
Made $117.
Why is this man hitting the walls of his house with a bat?
The house was 3D printed and he wanted to test how strong it was.
3 insane things you can actually bring through TSA.
Scissors under 4 inches, correctly stored pet fish, and a sewing machine?
What happens when you step on the world's most venomous fish wearing only flip-flops?
It injects toxin right into your feet. If this happens, submerge your feet in hot water to alleviate pain and seek medical help.
There was a medieval punishment called trial by cake.
It was used when someone was accused of a crime with no witness. They'd be given a piece of bread to eat in front of a crowd, and if they choked or stumbled, it was believed God had declared them guilty.
If beavers don't chew wood, they die in the most gruesome way imaginable.
Their teeth never stop growing, so if they don't wear them down, they can eventually curl into their skull.
You're at a party. Which one's worse, wine or Diet Coke?
Both. In this case, dehydration is the best option.
How much skin will you shed in your entire life?
Approximately 100 pounds.
This guy showed what kind of trash can be thrown into the ocean and what can't.
You can throw anything that is biodegradable like food leftovers or paper, and never plastic. But keep in mind it's still considered littering in some places, so only do if necessary.
Why do ranchers set their bulls on fire?
They do this to burn the outer hair. It kills bugs and insects living there and makes the animal look more muscular and valuable.
Is it possible to break bedrock in Minecraft?
Only by cheating, just like a heart.
Why is the US military getting a new grenade?
They had the M67 that was effective in open environments, and the MK3A2 that was good for clearing rooms, so they just merged them and made one that is good in both situations.
What happens if I pump this 10-pump air rifle 100 times?
Well, nothing. The pump has valves that limit its pressure, so once it's full, any extra pump is just a waste of energy.
Do you know which is the most gigantic fish ever caught?
It's a 2,600 pounds great white shark.
Ever wondered how football field lines are made?
In natural fields, they are painted by humans or robots, and in artificial fields, they are made of strips of white grass.
This guy just poured water onto a pool table worth tens of thousands of dollars and nobody stopped him.
Of course, why would they stop him? He was just deep cleaning the table, since dust can mess up the game.
Why did German soldiers used to have a giant spike on their helmet?
That spike was called Pickelhaube, and in the past its purpose was to deflect saber blows, but during the World War it was only used for ceremonial purposes.
Games that failed before becoming the biggest.
This happened to a game called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars, which you might know today as Rocket League.
Did you know there's a difference between venomous snakes and poisonous ones?
Venomous animals use fangs, stingers, or spines to inject toxin into you, while poisonous animals transfer toxins when they are eaten or touched.
This little girl was frozen for 28 years.
She was frozen in 1992 when she was still an embryo and remained frozen until 2020. Truly amazing.
Have you ever wondered why laying on your arm makes it fall asleep?
It blocks blood flow and nerve signals.
Why do we always forget our dreams?
Because when we dream, the part of our brain that handles memory is sleeping as well. So if you want to remember, you have to think really hard or have a dream journal.
People in Cambodia deliberately drop and fake fish into their cooking pot every single day.
It's called lucky fish. It's made of iron, and when it's boiled in soups or water for 10 minutes, it releases iron and helps fight iron deficiency and anemia.
Why do tennis pros cut the strings out of perfect rackets before a match even starts?
They do this to replace the strings and ensure they have the perfect tension before matches.
Why are these squids getting smacked like that?
It's just the fastest and most humane way of unaliving them.
If you find trash on the street, can you keep it?
If it's an expensive item, just to be sure, you should report it to the police. And if no one claims it, you can keep it.
Hey, you ever wonder why the ocean is salty?
Rivers carry small amounts of salt into the ocean, and as water evaporates over and over again, the salt becomes more and more concentrated.
Do you know just how much salt is in the entire ocean?
Well, not much, only 50 quadrillion tons.
Did you know that it's almost impossible to tickle yourself?
For your body to get tickled, a surprise factor is needed. When you tickle yourself, your body is already expecting it, so it doesn't work.
This is the one fish every scuba diver is absolutely terrified of.
These fish are really aggressive when they are protecting their nest, and their bite hurts.
Have you ever wondered why penguins cannot fly even they have wings?
It's because their wings were made to help them swim and maneuver underwater, and not for flying.
They say there's one liquid that can bring down an entire hornet colony in seconds.
Water with dish soap. It breaks the wasp waterproof coat and they drown.
Ever wondered why space is so silent?
Sound propagates through a chain reaction between molecules, and since space has almost no molecules, sound can travel through it.
How many Twizzlers can hold me up?
25.
This is the difference between a free lawyer and an expensive lawyer.
Expensive lawyers are more expensive, but they can choose the cases they work on, giving you more attention and provide better perks for their clients.
Have you noticed bowling feels different these days?
They are replacing traditional bowling machines with alternatives that use strings to reset the pins, but that can mess up how the pins fall.
If you've ever wondered how Bluetooth got its name?
It's because of an actual Bluetooth. A king that united Denmark and Norway had it. And since this tech was used to unite phones and PCs, they name it that.
This is the kind of cargo almost every captain would rather avoid.
He's talking about steel coils. They weigh multiple tons each and are round. If they break loose from their anchor points and start rolling, they become super dangerous.
Why do green leaves turn red, yellow, and orange in the fall?
It's because they stop producing chlorophyll, the pigment that makes them green, allowing the other pigments that were already in the leaves to be visible.
Many people wonder why the moment a diver surfaces, there's always a team rushing over to strip off their gear.
This can happen to deep-sea divers who surface too quickly. The pressure drops rapidly, causing dissolved gases like nitrogen to form bubbles in their blood and tissues. They need to get to the compression chamber as quickly as possible, where the pressure can be safely increased and then reduced gradually.
3 things you must do if you win the lottery.
Keep your mouth shut, sign your name on the back of your ticket, and pay the taxes.
Scientists just figured out why bats don't get cancer.
They have 2 copies of a gene that kills the cell if cancer is detected. Humans, on the other hand, only have 1, and when it doesn't work properly, a cancer forms.
Is Earth actually getting heavier the more we build on its surface?
Not really. All materials used for construction were already on Earth. It's actually getting lighter as gases constantly escape through the atmosphere.
Have you ever wondered why the NBA rim is exactly 10 feet high?
Purely by coincidence. When the basketball was invented, the first basket happened to be put on a balcony exactly 10 feet high.
What would happen if Earth actually was flat?
Gravity would behave differently and Earth would no longer have a magnetic field to protect us against the sun.
What do you do if a gorilla is standing right in front of you?
I know it's hard, but you should never run from them. That could trigger their instincts and they could chase you. Instead, keep calm, make yourself small, and walk away slowly.
Have you ever wondered why American footballs are shaped like eggs instead of being perfectly round?
That shape makes the ball fly farther, faster, and more precisely, while providing a better grip.
They are about to turn this palm tree into something so useful.
They split it in half, carve the wood, and make a canoe with it.
This part under your car is worth more than gold, and thieves know it.
The part in question is the catalytic converter. It contains a ceramic coated in precious metals. In one, you can find up to 4 grams of platinum, 3 grams of palladium, and 1 gram of rhodium. But only rhodium is currently more expensive than gold.
Can you legally destroy money?
You can turn coins into souvenirs, but bills are treated differently. Destroying them to the point they are no longer usable is against federal law.
A woman was playing at a slot machine until something unbelievable happened. She hit the jackpot and won nearly $43 million.
Now this really happened to a woman in Jamaica, by the way. The machine malfunctioned and told her she had won the jackpot. The casino refused to pay and offered a free steak dinner. She took them to court and lost.
What if you tried to smash a diamond with a hammer?
While diamonds are the hardest natural material when it comes to scratching, they are actually brittle, so a hard blow can shatter them.
This is the world's longest straw, and according to Mythbusters, it's physically impossible to drink from 34 feet high.
Well, it is indeed impossible. You can suck water higher than about 34 feet because atmospheric pressure isn't strong enough to push it any higher, and the water starts to boil.
Why do doctors turn on an X-ray machine like they're setting off a bomb?
Because while the radiation emitted during exams is not enough to harm the patient, if the doctors expose themselves to it for many times a day during extended periods of time, it adds up, and it can be harmful to their health.
If the police break down your door in the middle of the night, here's what you should do.
Keep calm, don't try to stop them, record the situation, ask if you are being detained, and once they leave, write everything you can remember, like officer's name and numbers, what they did, and find a criminal defense attorney.
A dead electric eel is basically a portable battery.
This is fake. Even though they can be dangerous when they are alive, eels stop producing electricity once they die.
If you dig a pond on a mountain and never add any fish, will fish slowly appear inside?
Well, probably. Birds can carry fish eggs and drop them there, or fish can swim upstream during floods and eventually reach the pond.
What's the current longest sniper kill?
The record is currently 4 kilometers, and if it wasn't crazy enough, he killed 2 soldiers with 1 shot.
How much ammo do soldiers actually carry?
The average soldier carries around 180 rounds, but it varies heavily depending on the weapon. For example, machine gunners carry around 600 rounds, while pistol users only carry 51.
This is one of the deadliest objects mankind has ever produced.
It was a 6 kilogram sphere of plutonium called the Demon Core. It was intended to be used on a 3rd nuclear bomb, but since the war ended and the bomb was not needed, it was then used for research and killed 2 scientists before being melted.
Have you ever wondered how Hollywood actors can eat rotten food on camera and be totally safe?
It's because they don't eat rotten food. Instead, they use food that is intentionally made to look rotten, but it's actually safe to eat.
I just calculated how many planets there are in the observable universe.
There are 306 trillion planets. Just so you understand this better, if every human went to space to find planets, each one of us would need to find 36 trillion planets.
If you smushed everything on Earth down and down and down and down and down, at what size would it become a black hole?
Technically the size of a pea, but Earth doesn't have enough mass to become one, so it's impossible to happen.
What's the dumbest animal on the planet?
It's not your little brother as you might think. Humans are arguably dumb if you consider we created ways to destroy each other and the planet, but if you look at raw brain power, the koalas are.
Have you ever wondered why the blobfish is called the ugliest animal in the world?
I mean, just look at him. But seriously, his body doesn't have bones, so when it's pulled out of the water, it gets deformed like that.
This is one of the oldest creatures on the planet.
It's the horseshoe crabs. Those things have been around for 480 million years, and they have survived multiple mass extinction events.
Why are chip bags so full of air?
They fill the bag halfway with air to protect the ships during transportation and handling. It's necessary unless you like powdered potatoes.
3D printed glow stick versus real. Which one is better?
The real is better, like 3 times better.
Have you ever wondered how blind people can write without seeing the paper?
By using a braille slate and a stylus.
This guy makes $5,000 a week from his business while doing absolutely nothing.
He owns laundromats and vending machines. He just has to restock the machines and collect the money once a week.
These are real ways parents catch their kids sneaking out.
Well, I doubt any parent dressed as a sofa to spy their kids, Mike. But the most common way is through security cameras.
Did you know the reason spider legs curl up when they die?
Their legs are moved using hydraulic power. When they die and no longer have blood inside them, their legs contract.
Why are train rails shaped like an eye?
It's because this shape is more efficient at distributing force and lasts longer.
Did you know there's a tree that literally grows bombs?
It's a tree called sandbox. The fruits explode when they dry and the sap is very poisonous.
What's the deadliest spider in the world?
It's the Sydney funnel spider, and guess what? It's from Australia, and once it bites you, you die in 15 minutes.
This man is known as the person with the worst eyesight on Earth.
Just so you understand, a vision of -6 diopters is already considered severe. His vision is -108. He can only see 3 centimeters ahead.
This is why trees in Scotland literally grow money over time.
The tree of course doesn't grow money. People hammer coins into their bark because they believe it absorbs all their bad luck.
Why would a landmine never give you the warning sound you expect? That famous click everyone waits for in movies.
It's because there's a common misconception that landmines explode when lifting the feet. This has been widely spread on movies, but in reality, they go kaboom as soon as you touch them, leaving no time to react.
You should never touch a chlorine tablet with your bare hands.
Actually, it's fine to touch them if your hands are clean, but they can become really dangerous if they react with other pool chemicals and release chlorine gas in a confined space.
Have you ever wondered what would happen to your body if you get sucked into a jet engine?
Well, it happens exactly what you imagine, so don't try it at home.
These guys found a genius way to make millions from trash off the street.
It's not that genius, they're just recycling.
Why don't people just remove the barnacles from a humpback whale?
Because they are so attached, it can hurt the whale skin.
What happens when you mix glow sticks with paint?
The paint doesn't glow in the dark, but it glows using a black light.
This man is pumping air into the ice on purpose, and the reason is fascinating.
They do it to give oxygen to the fish.
This protective layer is destroying 500-year-old masterpieces.
The layer is not destroying the paintings, it's actually saving them, but it gets dirty and yellow with time and needs to be replaced.
If you're ever lost in the forest, popping these tree pimples could actually save your life.
They contain a resin called Canada balsam, which has antiseptic properties and is a good fire starter.
Have you ever wondered why Africans are so black?
It's a result of thousands of years of evolution that allowed their bodies to produce more melanin.
I'm buying $1,000 worth of lottery tickets to see how much I can win.
He ended up losing $548.
Why would I spend $30 on this?
Because it's a bottle of copepods, tiny crustaceans that benefit reef tanks.
When handling this type of wood, don't touch your pants.
They are carved from resin-rich pine trees. In China, the greasier the wood, the more valuable it is, but it can stain your pants.
This aquarium for tuna is specifically designed to keep them alive.
It's built in a circular shape so tuna never stop swimming. If they stop, water no longer flows to their gills and they suffocate.
You should not pet a parrot like this.
In nature, they do this with individuals they're more than friends with. Once they realize they can't make out with you, they get upset. So just stick to petting their head instead.
Nothing scares me more as a beekeeper than this crucial task.
The task is to mark the queen. Beekeepers do this to find her faster during future inspections and make hive care easier. But one wrong move and she goes back to royal jelly.
They said that if you shoot a metallic surface at the right angle, bullet can ricochet more than once and even come back toward the shoot.
Even though that can happen, when the bullet comes back to you, it has lost so much energy it can no longer cause significant damage.
I left this giant hamster wheel out in the forest to see if any wild animals would spin on it.
Many animals inspected the wheel like it was an alien, but only the squirrels actually played on it.
Why break my back pulling these giant blocks of ice out instead of just pushing them under the ice?
A thin layer of snow can hide the hole, causing people to fall in. It's even worse for snowmobiles, as hidden holes and ice blocks can lead to serious accidents, so it's ideal to just put them back after fishing.
What happens when a hornet queen and a paper wasp queen build their nests right next to each other?
Well, they fight and only the strongest survives. In this case, it was the hornet queen.
Did you know? Pulling this out of a bearded dragon's ear could damage its hearing.
The piece shedding could be attached to the eardrum, and pulling it can rip it, so just let it come out naturally.
If you ever see this, you're witnessing one of the deadliest mistakes ants can make.
Ants create and follow scent trails. When the trail loops back on itself, the ants get stuck on a loop forever.
How do you feed baby goldfish?
Most people feed them baby brine shrimp, but you can use cooked egg yolk as well.
Did you know if you slam 2 Rubik's Cubes together like this, you get a brand new puzzle?
Yeah, if you do that, the new puzzle will be picking up all the parts and trying to put them back together.
What would happen if you compressed 100 cans of Red Bull into one drink?
All of its compounds would get super concentrated and you would just need to take one sip to grow wings.
What happens if you pop a bubble on a car tire like this?
I know it's tempting, but don't pop it. The tire can explode.
Have you ever wondered what happens to the ice after a hockey season ends?
Nothing too crazy. They just melt the ice and use the arena for other purposes.
Every time you walk into an Apple store, you're being tricked by an awkward tilt.
They leave the laptops with an awkward tilt to make you want to fix it, and once you touch it, your brain believes the laptop is yours, making you more likely to buy it.
Have you ever wondered what's the longest distance you could swim in a straight line without touching land?
It goes from Pakistan to Russia, and it's 20,000 miles long.
What if Earth became the biggest planet in the universe?
If it gets big enough, it eventually turns into a star, and then into a black hole that swallows the entire solar system.
Have you ever wondered what those tiny spinners on the back of cowboy boots actually do?
They don't hurt the horses, they are just pushed against their bellies to communicate with them.
This is not a snake.
Bro, this is a legless lizard.
You might think that beautiful pearls are purely a gift from nature.
Well, they are, but nowadays most of them are produced on farms, and workers induce pearl formation by inserting a piece of shell inside the oysters.
This is why stadium grass looks almost too perfect to be real.
The grass is grown outside of the stadium on specialized farms and is later transported in big chunks to be used there.
This is why the World Cup is completely worthless.
It's not winning that is worthless, only the trophy kinda is, because it used to be made out of solid gold, but it got stolen once and now winners only get a plated replica to take home.
How Apple beat shoplifters.
They developed the system that makes all components inside unusable when a device is stolen.
Why do artists spend thousands of dollars on custom ear molds instead of using ready-made earbuds?
Because it prevents sound leaks and distortion while on stage.
Why shouldn't you try liquid nitrogen freeze branding on people?
Why would you in the first place? It creates deep skin burns.
Did you know astronauts get taller in space?
That happens because without gravity, spine decompresses, making them a few inches taller.
What would happen if the sun disappeared?
The last sun ray would reach Earth in 8 minutes and 20 seconds, and after that, Earth would be in complete darkness and launched into space.
How fast can bees fill this empty frame with honey?
It took them 48 days to build the wax and fill it with honey. He estimates that more than 14 million flowers had to be visited.
Why do farmers cut down the banana plant right after harvesting the fruit?
Because banana plants only produce one bunch of bananas in their lifetime.
Why do you never see cashews sold in their shells?
It's for safety reasons. The shell of a cashew contains a corrosive oil that can cause painful blisters and chemical burns. That's why cashews have to be roasted before people can safely process them.
This is a bear trap and I'm gonna stick a leg in it.
Well, he didn't use a real leg, but the trap can break your bones and rip your flesh and tendons, and even kill you if you take long to find help.
There's a waterfall made entirely of chocolate that never stops flowing.
The chocolate runs through a series of filters to be constantly cleaned, and visitors have to use brand new spoons to taste it. Well, I guess it works until someone double dips.
What happens if you add Skittles to coffee, grind it all up, and pull a shot of espresso with it?
The Skittles get dissolved into the coffee and you can actually taste them.
The weirdest animal I own is totally dependent on what's inside this jar.
There's phytoplankton inside the jar, which he uses to feed his weirdest animal, the Christmas tree worms.
If you see this rock, crack it open immediately.
It's because this is a sedimentary rock that takes thousands of years to form and could actually contain fossils in it.
Why are Chinese people's eyes so small?
Asian people's eyes only look smaller, and it's because of an eyelid condition called epicantic fold, which is believed to protect their eyes from cold and sun.
What happens if you mix the blackest black with the whitest white?
Well, of course you get the grayest gray. Just kidding, it ends up fully black.
Why is it so hard for trees to grow taller than 300 feet?
Because of gravity. The higher the tree, the harder it is to push water to its branches.
Can a scooter to the shin actually break your bone?
Well, technically it could, but if not done on purpose, worst case scenario, it could chip your bone.
What happens if the Earth stops rotating?
Everything on its surface would keep moving at a speed of around 1,000 miles per hour, so people, buildings, trees would all get thrown at huge speeds, and the seas would create massive tsunamis.
What if the US suddenly got angry and dropped thousands of nuclear bombs on Russia?
Even if the attack killed everyone in Russia, they would still retaliate, because they have a system called Dead Hand that automatically launches more than 5,000 nuclear bombs all over the world if it receives no answer from their leaders.
Here's what would happen if we killed all the mosquitoes.
Well, it would be bad news for some animals, but humans would be a lot happier.
This white liquid is not what you think.
It's actually exactly what you think. Whales are the biggest mammals, and babies can drink hundreds of liters of milk every single day.
Ice melts into water, iron melts into liquid, and rock melts into lava. But what happens if you heat wood? Can it actually melt?
If you apply a lot of friction between two pieces of wood, its polymers can partially melt and fuse together, so yeah.
Have you ever wondered why mints make your mouth cold?
The temperature of your mouth doesn't actually change, but mints contain a substance called menthol, which tricks your brain into thinking cold receptors have been activated.
Some public benches are actually designed to be uncomfortable.
They are made uncomfortable so that people don't stay for too long on them.
This is why eating around the mold is a deadly mistake.
Even if you cut the moldy part out, the whole bread is already contaminated.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if two of the strongest magnets hit each other?
The magnets hit each other so hard they shatter.
Have you ever wondered why you're not allowed to smile in passport photos?
If you smile, your face measurements change, making it harder to verify your identity.
Would you believe the hardest object in your house is almost certainly this?
Well, of course, I believe everything you say, Mark. He's talking about the grains on the sandpaper. They are the hardest objects in your house, unless you have diamonds.
Why does a soldier leave only a single coin on his fallen brother's grave?
Soldiers leave coins on graves to show respect, honor the fallen, and let families know a fellow veteran visited. Each coin has a specific meaning.
This is why you should drink dirty water to survive.
In survival situations, you have to boil the water to make sure it's safe to drink, but that sometimes is done with hot rocks, which makes the water look dirty.
Have you ever wondered why that little thing hanging at the back of your throat exists?
It's actually pretty useful. It prevents food from going up when you swallow, produces saliva to keep your throat moist, and help during speech.
If you ever rescue a bird, never give it water like this.
If you do this, you can drown the bird. You should just wet their beaks instead.
Why do people paint chicken wire black?
Black paint makes the wire blend to the background.
Ever wondered why good tequila is so expensive?
Because tequila is made from agave, a plant which takes on average 6 years to mature, and the whole process is labor-intensive.
Why is the night sky black?
It's because even though there are an infinite number of stars in the universe, space is so vast that the light from many of them has not had enough time to reach Earth yet.
How much money can you make collecting cups at a football stadium?
With all the cups he collected, he expects to make $2,200.
Does sunscreen SPF actually matter?
Yes, the higher the FPS, the more it blocks UVB rays.
They say it is impossible to fold a piece of paper more than 7 times.
It's not impossible, but it's really hard. Mythbusters folded a piece of paper 11 times.
Ever wonder what happens when lava touches water?
It doesn't always turn into obsidian, as you might think. It rapidly boils the water into steam, cools, and hardens into volcanic glass or rock.
This bug becomes invisible when you touch it. But how?
Well, of course it doesn't. It just has a kind of a spring under its belly, and when it feels threatened, it goes flying.
This is why picking up a starfish could be a fatal mistake.
It's fatal for them. They can't breathe out of the water, and the sun and the chemicals on their skin can kill it.
Why do restaurants open fancy wine bottles underwater like this?
It's actually sparkling wine. They do this to remove the deposit of dead yeast cells remaining from fermentation and make the wine clear.
Why are coffee nerds obsessed with spraying their coffee?
Because if you don't, the coffee grounds will stick to everything due to static electricity that builds up during grinding.
Have you ever wondered why the sky is blue?
Sunlight contains all colors, but only blue and violet scatter from the atmosphere. And since our eyes are more sensitive to blue, that's what we see.
Did you know how hot lava really is?
Lava can reach between 1300 and 2300 degrees Fahrenheit depending on its composition.
Never jump into the ocean if you see a dark patch like this.
It's because this is a school of fish. They stick together for protection against predators like sharks that are always nearby. So jumping into the water could put you right on their radar.
Why should you never pick up a cute bunny by the scruff of its neck?
Because in the wild, they are prey animals, and picking them up like that can scare them so much they can hurt themselves trying to escape.
Why would a bird suddenly get stuck in a tree and be unable to escape?
This bird is a kingfisher. They use their sharp beaks to dive deep into the water at high speeds to catch fish. But sometimes, while speeding through the forest, they can crash into a tree and their beak gets stuck. When that happens, they can only free themselves with help.
Why are people on TikTok slowly replacing their homes with butter?
It's not butter, it's an epoxy filler made to repair wood.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if our Earth gets surrounded inside a black hole?
Earth would be gone and everyone would die.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if you slipped in an infinity pool?
Infinity pools are an illusion. You would just end up on a pool a few feet below the edge.
Why is the ice from your freezer usually white while the ice you buy is crystal clear?
Because the ice from your freezer has air trapped inside.
What was that thing that slipped out from Van de Ven's shorts?
It was just a grass patch.
Do you even know how big ant colonies really are?
This ant nest in Brazil covered 50 square meters and reached 8 meters underground. But that's nothing. The largest ant colony stretches over 6,000 kilometers across Europe.
Why is this person forcing thousands of living fish into tiny, cramped glass bottles?
Because this is a betta fish farm. Bettas are very aggressive and they will fight each other to death if kept together.
If you see this hole, empty it out immediately.
It's because this is a pothole. It traps heavy materials on its bottom, making it a nice place to pen for gold.
Why giant pumpkin competition winners
farmers always have to cut their pumpkin open.
They open it to collect the seeds, which are going to be used to grow giant pumpkins for the next season.
Have you heard that you can't keep a mantis shrimp in a fish tank because they can break it?
Mantis shrimp can hit their prey as fast as a bullet from a gun, so yes, they can break glass aquariums. For that reason, it's ideal to get an acrylic tank.
How am I supposed to feed a fish that could blow up an entire tank if he gets spooked too easily?
Well, it's a fish, of course it can't blow up a tank, but if he feels scared, he can let out a toxin on the water and kill everything including himself. He eats many mice, shrimp, and algae.
I found this camera buried a foot deep in the river mud.
On the camera, he found a busted memory card. He sent it to a data recovery specialist that actually managed to recover the files, and then he returned the camera to its original owners more than 15 years later.
Did you know you can eat a sunflower?
Yes, you can, and it tastes just like corn on the cob, but you have to harvest at the correct time while the seeds are still soft.
You could actually sue a company for millions just because of a small mistake on a snack package.
This is possible in Japan, where they have strict laws against inaccurate branding. There, the package illustration must match exactly the content inside.
Why is my parrot shaking, you might ask?
It's because she wants to have babies. If you wait, it eventually goes away. But come on, just get her a boyfriend.
This is why USA has the strongest geography in the world.
It's because the USA is surrounded by 2 huge oceans and the 2 closest countries are allies with small militaries.
What is the rarest thing in the universe?
The rarest thing on the universe is life. Very special, and it would mean a lot if you subscribe.